When the millionaire first held his daughter in his arms, just 2 weeks after she was born, he believed he had already seen every extreme life could offer: wealth beyond imagination, power that bent rooms silent, losses that carved hollows in his chest, but nothing prepared him for how fragile happiness could feel when wrapped in a tiny blanket. His mansion, once a symbol of success, had become quiet and tense after his wife's sudden death during childbirth, leaving him a grieving father who barely slept, barely breathed, moving through marble hallways like a ghost. Nurses came and went, doctors checked the baby daily, and employees spoke in whispers, afraid of saying the wrong thing to the men whose name commanded entire industries. Among them was Rosa, a cleaning lady hired through an agency, a middle-aged woman with tired eyes, gentle hands, and a habit of humming old lullabies while she worked. She was invisible to most of the staff, just another uniform passing through, but from the first day she saw the newborn, something in her chest tightened in a way she couldn't explain. Each morning she cleaned the nursery after the nurses left, carefully wiping surfaces, straightening blankets, lingering a second longer than necessary just to make sure the baby was breathing. One afternoon, when the house was unusually quiet and the millionaire was locked in his office staring at financial reports he couldn't focus on, Rosa noticed something that made her heart stop. The baby's cries were different, weaker, strained, like a fading echo. The monitors were silent, the nurse was late, and panic clawed up Rosa's throat. She had no authority, no medical training beyond raising 3 children of her own in poverty, but instinct overpowered fear. She scooped the baby up, felt the heat of her skin, noticed her lips trembling, and remembered the night years ago when her own infant nearly died of fever in a one-room apartment because help came too late. Without thinking about consequences, she rushed out of the nursery, running through halls she was never meant to run through, shouting for help. When no one answered, she did the unthinkable. She burst into the millionaire's private office without knocking. He looked up in shock, anger flaring instantly, ready to unleash fury at the employee who dared cross that line, until he saw his daughter in her arms, pale and crying weakly. Rosa's voice shook as she said the baby was burning up and something was wrong. For a second, the room froze, then the millionaire leapt to his feet, snatched his daughter, and screamed for the doctor. Minutes later, chaos filled the mansion: sirens, doctors, nurses, and the baby was rushed to the hospital, where they discovered a rare infection that, if left untreated for even another hour, could have taken her life. The millionaire sat in the hospital corridor with his head in his hands, replaying everything, realizing that while he had the best technology and staff money could buy, it was the intuition of a cleaning lady that saved his child. When the doctor told him his daughter would survive, he broke down, crying openly for the first time since his wife died. Later that night, as his daughter slept in an incubator, he asked for Rosa. She stood awkwardly in the hallway, terrified she would be fired or sued for overstepping her role. Instead, the millionaire bowed his head to her and said thank you, his voice cracking as he admitted that without her, he would have lost the last piece of his family. He offered her money, more than she had ever seen, but Rosa shook her head, tears streaming down her face, saying she didn't do it for money, she did it because no child should be ignored when they cry. Those words struck him harder than any boardroom betrayal ever had. In the weeks that followed, everything changed. Rosa was offered a permanent position, not as a cleaner, but as a trusted caregiver. The millionaire began spending real time with his daughter, learning how to hold her, feed her, soothe her, guided patiently by Rosa, who treated him not like a powerful man, but like a scared father. Slowly, the mansion filled with warmth again. Laughter replaced silence, lullabies echoed through halls once empty, and the millionaire found himself healing in ways he never expected. Years later, when his daughter stood on a stage giving a speech about compassion and the people who truly save us, she spoke about a woman who wasn't related by blood but by courage, a cleaning lady who listened when others didn't. The millionaire, sitting in the audience, knew that day 2 weeks after her birth was the moment his life truly changed, because it taught him that humanity, not wealth, is what protects what matters most. If this story touched your heart, remember that powerful moments often come from the most unexpected people, so subscribe to the channel for more emotional, life-changing stories that remind us what truly matters.